When we think about dangerous animals, it's quite often the in-your-face style predator, one that leaves no doubt you're under attack, that first comes to mind. But it's not always the ones you can see that pose the greatest danger. This is an animal that's almost invisible to the casual observer, but you should be looking really closely, because if you aren't, your next step could bring you a world of pain. Every year, hundreds of people suffer a surprising, painful, and even life-threatening injury when enjoying the seaside, and they usually don't even know what's hit them.
One of the big problems for humans is you don't physically see them. These animals are set up to be camouflaged so that little fish swim past, they don't see them, and they swallow them whole. Because they look like a stone, because they're so well camouflaged, and because the spines that have the venom sacs on them are associated on their back, when you're walking through the water, you stand on them, and that's when people get stung.
What you're stepping on is a poison-packed animal called the stonefish, and it is not to be messed with.
Stonefish are probably the world's most venomous fish. They've basically got a series of, depending on the species, about 13 or 14 spines on their back, and each of those spines has associated with it a venom sac.
It's a crazy-looking creature that could easily be said to be made up of all the leftover spare parts, but it is in fact a well-designed pain machine.
Spines stand up, your foot goes down on it, the spines go into your foot, venom gets injected into your foot, the venom is associated to produce pain, and all you end up with is this person in immense pain.
Even the experts are not immune from its powerful venom.
Yeah, I've been nailed by a couple of stonefish. My last effort was I jumped off the top of a boat and landed on one and drove it up through my wetsuit booty into my heel, and that was pretty horrific. I was off colour for about 12 hours, so I spent sort of 6 hours in hospital with anti-venom and things of that nature, and it finally came around and I was back on the planet again. But yeah, it was 6 to 12 hours of my life that I don't want to go through ever again. It's a pain that arrives and just stays at that level. So the deaths that we do know of that are caused by stonefish haven't been a direct effect of the venom, it's been because the person has some indirect effect like drowning.
The recommended treatment is to immerse the injured part of your body in scalding water and find medical assistance immediately to be treated with antivenom. Jamie and his team collect stonefish venom for the production of antivenom, but it's a case of handle with care.
They can get very, very grumpy, very, very easily. So you've got to be careful on how you handle them.
Not only is the stonefish dangerous, it is ugly, so it definitely won't be winning any beauty pageants anytime soon. Instead of scales, this fish grows algae over its entire body, providing perfect camouflage in amongst the coral and rocky seafloor. But this really is the stonefish's ingenious design, as this is both its defensive and attacking weapon. It pays to be ugly out in the deep blue.
So the animal looks like a stone, it's an ambush predator, and the reason it looks like a stone is it's trying to attract other little fish to come and live near it.
It inhabits tropical waters in both the open ocean and rivers, preferring to hide amongst the rocky coral seafloor, waiting for its prey to swim close, and then ambushing small fish and shrimp.
As the fish come over, basically it's got a big mouth, it opens the mouth and swallows the fish whole.
The stonefish can be found on both the east and west coasts of Australia. It grows to about a foot to 1.5 feet long, with an oversized mouth and stocky body with small fins, so swimming is not the stonefish's strong point.
They're not really good swimmers, and so they tend to hop when they go across the bottom. So they may be in the middle of a sand patch or a mud patch somewhere, but rather than get up and swim like most fish, they tend to bounce across the bottom. These are big, bulky animals with really tiny fins, so they don't swim all that well at all.
But it is a good breeder, as the female can lay up to 1 million eggs. Being a tidal creature, the stonefish can survive for 24 hours out of the water. So don't pick one up if you think it's dead, as it is just as dangerous in or out of the water.